Why would anyone choose discomfort? In a world built around convenience and ease, the idea sounds backward. But for the Stoics, it was a path to true freedom. This video explores the ancient yet powerful practice of voluntary discomfort, a strategy used by Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic thinkers to build mental and emotional resilience long before life forced it on them. By the end of this episode, you'll understand why comfort makes us fragile, how small, intentional hardships train you for real-life challenges, daily practices that can strengthen your mindset and deepen your gratitude, and how choosing discomfort today can protect your peace tomorrow. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by stress, dependent on routines, or unprepared when life gets hard, this message is for you. Because the time to toughen your mind is before the test begins. Number 1. Why Stoics embrace discomfort. By choice in a world designed for comfort, the Stoics chose discomfort on purpose, not because they were masochists, not because they wanted to suffer, but because they understood a truth that most people avoid. Comfort doesn't prepare you. Discomfort does. Marcus Aurelius didn't wait for hardship to arrive before learning how to endure it. He trained for it. He practiced self-denial, slept on the floor, fasted from luxuries, and reminded himself daily that everything he had could be taken away. To the Stoics, voluntary discomfort was a mental rehearsal, a way to toughen the mind before life forced them to. Because when hardship eventually comes, and it always does, you don't want to be surprised. You want to be ready. By embracing discomfort in small, deliberate ways, you train your mind to respond, not panic. You reduce your fear of pain, loss, or inconvenience, and in doing so, you gain freedom. Freedom from the need for perfect conditions. Freedom from being fragile in the face of change. Freedom from being ruled by comfort. The E. Stoic doesn't seek pain, but he doesn't run from it either. He steps into it with purpose, knowing that voluntary hardship isn't weakness. It's strength in disguise. Because if you only grow when life forces you to, you'll always be a step behind. But if you choose discomfort before it chooses you, you train your mind before the world tests it. Number 2. What voluntary discomfort really means. Voluntary discomfort isn't about suffering for the sake of it. It's not self-punishment. It's not about proving how tough you are. It's about preparation. At its core, voluntary discomfort is the conscious choice to do something uncomfortable. Not because you have to, but because you know it makes you stronger. It's a kind of resistance training for the mind. For Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics, this practice was both philosophical and deeply practical. It might mean fasting for a day to remind yourself that you don't need indulgence to function. It might mean walking instead of driving, sitting in silence instead of seeking distraction, taking a cold shower, waking up early, or choosing the hard conversation over the easy silence. These moments aren't dramatic, but they're deliberate. Each act sends a signal to your brain. I can do hard things. Each moment you step outside your comfort zone, you expand what you're capable of. And over time, what once felt difficult becomes normal. You raise your threshold for stress, uncertainty, and change. Voluntary discomfort is about creating friction, not to suffer, but to sharpen. It builds resilience without crisis, It prepares you without trauma, because when life gets hard, and it will, you won't have to catch up. You'll already be trained, calm, ready, grounded. That's what Stoics knew, and it's what you can start practicing, one discomfort at a time. Number 3. The link between comfort and fragility. Comfort feels good until it becomes a trap. Modern life offers more convenience than any time in history. Instant food, climate control, endless entertainment. We can avoid pain, delay effort, and retreat from challenge with the tap of a screen, but there's a hidden cost. Comfort weakens our edge. The Stoics saw this long before technology existed. They understood that the more you rely on comfort, the less you can endure discomfort. And the less you can endure discomfort, the more fragile you become. Marcus Aurelius warned against luxury, not because he hated pleasure, but because he knew it could dull the soul. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." That wasn't fear-mongering. It was a wake-up call, a reminder that life doesn't wait for us to toughen up, when everything around you is designed to soothe and distract. It's easy to forget how strong you really are, easy to avoid growth, easy to confuse ease with progress. But comfort doesn't train you for adversity. It insulates you from it. And when the storm eventually hits, comfort won't help you stand. Only resilience will. The Stoic solution? Voluntarily. Face discomfort before life forces it on you. Choose challenge. Train gently. Strip away the unnecessary. Because the more comfortable you insist on being, the more fragile you quietly become. Number 4. How Marcus Aurelius practiced discomfort in daily life. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but he never let comfort rule him. Despite living in a palace, he resisted luxury. He wore simple clothes, avoided indulgent feasts, and often reminded himself that pleasure wasn't the goal, virtue was. To the outside world, he was the most powerful man alive. But inside, he remained a student of discomfort. In meditations, he reminded himself daily of life's impermanence, of suffering, and of his own mortality. Not to live in fear, but to live in readiness. He wrote, "Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary?" He questioned every desire, examined every habit, and removed excess, not out of denial, but discipline. Marcus didn't wait for war, betrayal, or illness to teach him resilience. He practiced it. He trained his mind before life could break it. He intentionally embraced the hard road, not because he was cold or stoic in the modern sense, but because he understood a timeless truth. Comfort is fleeting, but character is enduring. By regularly stripping away ease, he revealed strength. And that's the invitation for all of us, not to abandon comfort entirely, but to loosen our dependence on it. If an emperor could practice restraint while surrounded by abundance, so can we. It's not about becoming less human. It's about becoming more capable, more clear, more free. Discomfort wasn't beneath Marcus Aurelius. It was his training ground. Number 5. The mental training behind small hardships. Small hardships aren't just tests, they're training. To the Stoics, each minor discomfort was a chance to sharpen the mind. It wasn't about enduring pain for pain's sake. It was about cultivating self-control, humility, and resilience in controlled environments. Marcus Aurelius didn't wait for chaos to teach him calm. He rehearsed calm through intentional discomfort, fasting, restraint, silence, simplicity. He knew that these moments of friction prepared him for the larger battles of life: betrayal, grief, fear, failure. And the beauty of small hardships is this: they're safe, low stakes. A cold shower won't ruin your life, but it might help you develop discipline. Skipping a meal won't harm you, but it might remind you of your strength. Choosing stillness over distraction won't hurt, but it will build clarity. Each of these small practices tells your mind, I am not ruled by comfort. I can do hard things, even when I don't have to. The Stoics believed that these micro-exposures built macro strength. Because once you've trained your body and mind to face what's uncomfortable on your own terms, the unexpected becomes less threatening. So don't wait for life to throw you into the fire. Step into the cold now and then. Go without. Choose the harder path, not to suffer, but to remember. Discomfort isn't the enemy, it's a teacher. And the lessons are priceless. Number 6. Q. Why waiting for life to toughen you is too late. If you wait for life to make you strong, it already has the upper hand. The Stoics didn't believe in passive learning. They believed in preparation, in training the mind and body before adversity strikes, because when it does, you don't want to be building strength from scratch. You want to be ready. Marcus Aurelius didn't assume peace would last. He didn't assume people would always be loyal or that fortune would always favor him. He planned for loss, betrayal, hardship, not out of pessimism, but out of wisdom. Because when difficulty shows up, and it always does, it doesn't wait for you to catch up. If you haven't practiced self-restraint, the first crisis will feel unbearable. If you haven't tested yourself in controlled discomfort, the real thing will seem overwhelming. That's why Stoics practiced poverty, silence, fasting, humility, not for glory, but for readiness. Waiting for life to teach you through suffering is like going into battle without armor, hoping you'll learn to fight in the middle of the war. The Stoic trains first, endures second, and grows stronger through both. So don't wait for life to force discomfort on you. Introduce it gently. Choose your challenge now, so you can face tomorrow with calm, not panic. Because the world doesn't pause to let you prepare, but you can choose to prepare before the world tests you. Number 7. Daily practices of voluntary discomfort. Modern examples. Voluntary discomfort doesn't have to be extreme. In fact, the most powerful practices are often the simplest. The Stoics believed that small, deliberate challenges done consistently could build the kind of mental toughness that lasts. So how do you apply this today? Start small. Start daily. Skip your morning coffee for a day. Take a cold shower. Sleep without a pillow. Fast for a meal. Walk somewhere you'd usually drive. Silence your phone for 2 hours. Speak up when it's uncomfortable. Wake up an hour earlier and sit in stillness. These aren't punishments. They're invitations. Invitations to step outside your routine. To break your dependence on comfort. To remind yourself, I can endure. I can adjust. I am not fragile. Marcus Aurelius practiced this in his own way. Fasting, enduring the cold, and reflecting deeply on his own mortality. And he didn't do it for praise. He did it to remember what matters, to stay grounded, to stay prepared. Each of these modern practices is a mental exercise, not just a physical one. The goal isn't suffering, It's strength, clarity, presence, and the more you lean into these micro-challenges, the more you'll notice. Life gets easier, not because it changed, but because you did. So choose one small discomfort today. Face it with intention. Then do it again tomorrow. Because readiness is built, not wished for. Number 8. The role of gratitude gained through deprivation. We often take the most meaningful parts of life for granted, until they're gone. The Stoics understood this deeply. That's why they practiced intentional deprivation, not to punish themselves, but to remember how fortunate they already were. When Marcus Aurelius fasted or slept on the floor, it wasn't about self-denial. It was about training his mind to appreciate what he normally overlooked. He knew that gratitude doesn't grow from abundance, it grows from awareness, and nothing awakens awareness like going without. When you skip a meal, you don't just feel hunger, you rediscover the privilege of having food. When you walk instead of drive, you feel your legs working and remember the gift of movement. When you turn off your phone, you realize how addicted you've become to distraction and how peaceful silence really is. Voluntary deprivation reconnects you with reality. It strips away excess and reminds you what's essential. And in that clarity, gratitude naturally arises. The modern world offers everything: comfort, speed, convenience, but very little contentment. That's because contentment doesn't come from having more. It comes from needing less. And when you practice needing less, you don't just become tougher, you become more thankful. Not in theory, but in experience. You stop chasing what you don't have and start valuing what you do. That's the true reward of discomfort. It gives you your appreciation back. Number 8 and 9. How this practice strengthens emotional and physical fortitude. The mind and body are more connected than we often realize. And the Stoics knew, when you train one, you train the other. Practicing voluntary discomfort doesn't just make you physically tougher. It shapes your emotional resilience. Every time you face a small challenge on purpose, you're rewiring your nervous system. You're telling your brain, I can stay calm when things are hard. I don't need to panic. I don't need to run. Marcus Aurelius faced the weight of an empire, but his strength didn't come from force. It came from self-control, from knowing that he could handle discomfort, rejection, pressure, and pain without losing his center. That's the essence of fortitude. Not brute force, but calm endurance. And it's built in moments when you choose discomfort, not when it's forced on you, skipping a meal, sitting in silence, having the hard conversation, waking up early. These aren't grand gestures, but they're powerful ones, because they teach your body to endure and your mind to remain still. Over time, you'll notice you recover faster from setbacks. You react less to stress. You feel more grounded when life gets turbulent. That's not just physical endurance, it's emotional strength, stoic strength. And the best part? It's trainable. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to show up deliberately, consistently, with intention. Because every time you choose challenge, you choose growth. Number 10. Discomfort is not the enemy. It's the doorway to strength. The Stoics didn't embrace hardship for show. They embraced it to prepare, because they knew life would test them. And when it did, they wanted to meet it with calm, not chaos. Voluntary discomfort isn't about being harsh, it's about being ready. Ready for uncertainty, ready for loss, ready for whatever life throws your way, not with fear, but with fortitude. Marcus Aurelius understood this. He wrote, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. You don't get to choreograph life. It pushes, it pulls, it surprises, and your job isn't to control it, but to be steady within it. So start small, skip a convenience, embrace a challenge. Face a fear, not to punish yourself, but to prepare yourself. Because each act of discomfort makes you stronger, clearer, freer." If this message spoke to you, take one moment today to choose discomfort on purpose, and let that moment shape you. Subscribe for more Stoic insights. Leave a comment with one challenge you're choosing to face, and share this video with someone who needs a little more strength and a little less fear. You don't have to wait for life to toughen you up. You can start now. One challenge at a time,